I don't know if this has happened to you during this time, but the other morning I woke up and actually wondered if this was all a bad dream, if it was just an overactive imagination, or it had been brought on by some of the reading I'd been doing about the end times. Maybe this really hadn't happened. And then I went downstairs, and there was my mask, and I remembered. I wonder if this is what it was like for the disciples that first Easter morning when they heard the news that Jesus had risen. Maybe Friday was just a bad dream. Maybe that business with the cross never really happened. Maybe we can just get back to the way life was. Oh, to return to last week. Remember that crowd that gathered as we made our way into Jerusalem. They would have made him king. But by Easter night, reality had set back in. We find the disciples huddled in fear, behind locked doors, quarantined from the world outside. Because that world had gotten very scary all of a sudden. Jesus had been crucified as an enemy of the state, guilty of unlawful assembly, a high crime in Roman days. He was simply unpatriotic. He just didn't fit the law and order of the day. And so they got rid of him. And if they got rid of Jesus, what fate awaited those who would follow him? And could one be a disciple if you had no one to learn from? Was there a future in this gospeling business? Or was it now over? It is in the midst of their fear and their confusion that Jesus shows up, unannounced, uninvited. Shalom, y'all. Peace be with you. My peace I give to you, not as the world gives, but my peace. And he breathes on them the Holy Spirit, the breath of life. Peace I give to you. Shalom. Wholeness, completeness, fullness. It is the gift that Jesus gave to the disciples, and it is the gift that Jesus brings to us this day. A new sense of well-being, even in the midst of crisis and chaos. For we too are afraid. We are afraid of our health and the health of our loved ones. We fear what comes next, economically. Will we have work? Will there be a future in what we have always done? We are confused. We don't know who to trust anymore. Who do we believe? We mourn. We mourn the way things were. And we yearn to be together. Oh, if this were just a bad dream, and we could wake up and go back to the way it was. The disciples tried that. The next morning, Peter gets up and says, I'm going to go back fishing. I'm going to do something I know how to do. Anybody coming with me? And the others went. And what they found was that they couldn't catch a darn thing. They fished all day and all night and nothing. Had they lost their touch? Had the art of fishing passed them by? Was it a new world? One that they didn't fit in any longer? And then the sun rose, and there he was on the shore. Try it differently. Throw it on the other side of the boat. And they do, and they can't even haul the great catch of fish in without the nets breaking. Peace I leave with you. It is not only an inner peace that Jesus offers us in this time of chaos and confusion and fear, but it is an active peace. It is an invitation to engage in the act of shaloming, of peacemaking. I find myself afraid these days, not for my own health or that of my loved ones. I don't even fear about the economy or the future of what it means to be pastor. What scares me most is that we will go back the way we were. And that's scary, because it means that we will have learned nothing. If a pandemic cannot bring us together, what hope is there for us as humanity? Even in the midst of suffering and death, we are still at each other's throats. From social media to the evening news, to the announcements from our political leaders. Our words are divisive and polarizing, and nothing has changed. Peace I give to you. My peace I leave with you. Jesus takes Peter aside that morning and has a little talk about the past, about brokenness, about betrayal, about failure. And then he sends him out to feed the sheep. And so he comes to us with peace, that we might bear that peace to all the world. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father. Brothers all are we. walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Shalom.